What do you feel when you hear this sound? Joy? Happiness? Delight? Well, congratulations, you have been conditioned by a video game. But as sinister and manipulative as this may sound, it's actually quite common. Video games often establish a link between a visual or acoustic cue and a certain emotion in the player to be able to trigger that sensation at any given moment in the game. And by that, they create something like an interface that gives the designer control over when to make the player feel the way he intends him to. If it's the pleasure of getting an extra life, the feeling of empowerment, the excitement to have found a secret, or even negative emotions, the frustration of having screwed up, for example. It's the simple technique of respondent conditioning, made popular by the Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov, who observed that his dogs would react with increased secretion of saliva when he fed them. In his experiments, he began to ring a bell right before yummy time. And after a while, his dogs would start drooling when they heard that sound, even without seeing actual food. Respondent conditioning connects an innate biological response to an unconnected stimulus, in this case an acoustical cue. And that's pretty much exactly what happens in the examples mentioned before, only that you don't hear your tummy growling. So, a few days ago I saw a visual essay about the indie game Axiom Verge by Mark Brown from Game Maker's Toolkit, an excellent video in a brilliant series about game design. You should definitely go check it out. I'm gonna link it in the credits. When I saw the video, I knew I had to buy Axiom Verge and play it for myself. It shamelessly and openly steals a lot from Super Metroid and its successors, but it does it with skill. It's really the Metroid game fans have been waiting for, even though it isn't even made by Nintendo. It pretty much gets all the core elements of its role model right. The adventurous exploration, the binary design of power-ups and natural level borders, the subtle and effective way of teaching the player its mechanics, and also the dark, unsettling and eerie atmosphere of venturing into the unknown. You still remember how uncanny and disquieting it was to explore the depth of Planet Zeeb's cave maze, with new unknown dangers lurking behind every corner? It was as exciting as it was frightening. But there is one ingenious design trick in Super Metroid that I've never seen in any other game since. It's the very subtle but incredibly effective way Metroid uses respondent conditioning to reinforce the feeling of discomfort. Now, on the surface, every game since Metroid on the NES uses the same kind of acoustic cues as other games. The triumphant jingle when you find a new power-up, the pleasant sound effect that signals you got some life energy back. This is all straightforward. The acoustic design of the cue is in accordance with the emotional significance of the event. Positive reinforcement for positive actions. When we look, for example, at well-made horror games, it's the same thing. In Silent Hill 2, for example, you carry a radio around, and the discomforting static noise of the radio forecasts an equally unsettling event, that a monster is nearby. The stimulus is in line with the emotional meaning of the cause. Now listen to this. This is the music that you hear when you are in a room with the power-up, an important waypoint, or where you're at least allowed to be safe. This music always comes with a reward for your exploration. But what you get to hear is the creepiest, most eerie and unsettling melody in the entire soundtrack. All the other tracks, sure, they all convey a certain sense of menace and foreboding, but they're also rhythmic, melodic, catchy, oftentimes even empowering. But this, it's a spine-chilling cacophony of random oscillator tones broadcasting what seems like an alien communication code, accompanied by a suspenseful, deep background layer. And that track has always been scary. In Metroid on the NES, we hear what seems like the feet of a giant insect tapping nervously against the wall from the other side. Or later in Metroid Prime, it stays equally eerie, just with an added layer of looming static in the background. While most scary video games at least allow you a sense of comfort in a safe zone, a warm place, a brief refuge from the terror that awaits outside, the Metroid games deliberately rewire your brain by connecting a positive event to the emotionally opposite stimulus to never make you completely feel at ease. And by that, they trick you into longing for that feeling of queasy unease again, to feel safe again. Yes, the game tries to make you a little bit schizophrenic, until your mind becomes one with the dark and menacing labyrinth of planet Zebes. Zebish, whatever. Now, a silly thought, but if Super Mario would play the most happy melody in the world when you die, would it turn the game into the ultimate suicide trainer? So as always, thanks for watching, keep on playing, and I'll see you next time on RagnarRoxx.